video, I'm going to talk about when you make a custom activity using something that's called Sketch Overlay. So I'm logged into teacher.desmos.com, and I'm going to go over here to my custom activities. And I'm going to go back to this activity that I created called Telling Time and show you how Sketch Overlay works. So when I created this activity, I had students draw something. So the way that this works is you add a slide, and I will just, actually, I'm going to go back before I show you this. I'm going to go back to my example activity, and I'm going to go ahead and edit this. So I'm going to click on these three dots and say edit your activity. Because right now I just have one screen that is a card sort, and I have a previous video that shows you how I added this card sort. I'm going to go ahead and add a new screen, and I'm going to show you how you add a sketch. So if I say sketch and I say draw an example of a rectangle. Okay, you can add a background to this if you want to. So I could add something. I can add a chart, I can add a graph, I can add a coordinate plane, I can add the face of a clock like I'm about to show you, or you can just leave it blank and students can use this space to do what you ask them to do. So I'll say next and done. So this is what students see. Draw an example of a rectangle, and then they could, in this area, draw something. All right, so that's how you add that type of slide. I'm going to go back here to custom, and I'm going to show you one that was completed. So I did one with students where it was about telling time. And so I did this, I added a slide and I put the background picture of a clock. And so students were drawing the hands. So I thought it would be interesting as a teacher if I view the dashboard. I'm going to click on here, and I can see, if I click up here, I can see everyone's clock face, and I can kind of scroll through and see how everyone did. Okay, but this button right here, overlay, takes all of these individual clock faces and puts them on top of each other. It's kind of interesting to see then, wow, it looks like everybody pretty much had 6 o'clock correct. I could do the same thing with this one. And it looks like pretty much everybody had 8 o'clock correct, except it looks like there was a couple outliers here. So then it lets me know not every single person got it correct. Right? So it's kind of an interesting idea of this overlay. You could ask a question where maybe you have a number line and you ask all the students to put a number on the number line. You know, in primary it might be some whole numbers, you know, put 8 on the number line, put 20 on the number line. As they get older, larger numbers, you know, where does 55 go on the number line? As you get up into middle school, you can use more complex types numbers, you know, you could use something like where does the square root of 2 go, or where does pi go? But think about how powerful it might be to have a number line and all the students are plotting a point on the number line, and you do overlay and you can see everybody's spot and see if you all agree. Another idea that I used for this, if I go back to my custom, I did a teacher workshop where I asked people what was their experience with using different tech tools. Let's see, let's find one of these here. And so when I asked people, you know, put an X on your experience using the Desmos Activity Builder, and then everybody put an X based on their experience. If I do overlay, I can see, wow, love it, use it all the time. Nobody put an X there. Use it occasionally. Nobody put an X there. Some people had heard of it, and some people said it's new to me. So I knew this was something that was worthwhile to teach. So I kind of just made my own little quadrant, and people put the X's on that quadrant. So this kind of green writing was in the background, and these blue X's were the people's responses. You can also take off the background if that's helpful too. So really interesting and powerful way to gather responses and to collect some data from your students to see what they are thinking. I hope this video was helpful for using Desmos in your elementary classroom. Let me know how you're using it or if you have suggestions for videos that you would like to see.